Welcome to This Daring Adventure podcast, where we work on bridging the gap between where we are and where we want to be in order to live a bigger and bolder life. In this podcast, we will provide inspiration, tips, and skills you need to make your life the adventure you want it to be. Here's your host, mindset mentor, and life coach, Trista Gurton.
Hey everybody, welcome back to This Daring Adventure. So today I have an issue or a subject that comes up in coaching all of the time, in relationships, in work, in friendships, literally every area of life. And it's the way our brain convinces us that we're just telling the truth about our circumstances, when actually what we're doing is creating a reality with our thoughts. So this episode is for you if you've ever said, he's just being needy, or my boss is impossible, or I hate my job, or it's hard to make friends, or I just don't have time for a relationship, or whatever it is right now. You'll want to hear this story because it's going to show you exactly why you feel stuck and how you can change it. Now, I was coaching a client recently, and she's smart, successful, driven. She's been in a long distance relationship for several years, and she just moved to another state for a big job. She's managing a large team of people. I think it was about 16, and she's right in the middle of a major company reorganization. And she came to me because she's doing what a lot of us do, trying to hold it all together while quietly questioning whether it's working. And in our session, she said she was in a relationship, that her boyfriend was being needy. She was annoyed. They were fighting all of the time, drinking too much, and then create this space, this distance between them. And she felt now that she was on the verge of breaking up with him. And so this is, yes, this relationship. It's applicable to relationships, but I also want you to take a look at this through the frame of whatever issue you're facing. Is it your job you're dissatisfied with? Is it where you're living? It could be multiple issues. So as we go through, you can apply this to any circumstance, any issue in your life as well. Now, what she thought she was doing when she told me about this, her relationship, the boyfriend, the drinking, the distance, and all of these things, was that she was describing the facts. But what she was really describing were her thoughts. And of course, that's where everything begins. Our brain loves to pretend that our thoughts are just the news. We say things, we state them as facts. My boyfriend's needy. My boss is oppressive. It's hard to meet friends as an adult. It's hard to find a new job. And it sounds so innocent, right? Like we are just observing what's true. But these thoughts aren't neutral. They then create the emotional experience we live in. So if you are thinking, my boyfriend is needy or my boss is oppressive, how do you feel? Annoyed, angry, resentful, maybe trapped. And then how do you act from that place? You pull away, you disconnect, you pick fights. And the result is that you create distance in your relationship, exactly what you were trying to avoid. So let's say for my client, her boyfriend said, you're not making the relationship a priority. That's a fact. That is something that he actually said. Then she had a thought that he's being needy, which in turn created the feeling of annoyed in her. And then her action from feeling annoyed was to argue, withdraw, defend. And the result that she created was that the relationship felt strained and disconnected, which makes sense if you're arguing, withdrawing, and defending. And this is the loop that most people live in, convinced that it's because of the other person, or the job, or the house, or the city, or whatever it is, when it's actually because of how we're thinking about that person or thing. And so I asked her, what if he's not being needy? What if he's just showing up as how he is? A man who loves her and wants to feel connected to her. And then I said, is he right? Are you making the relationship a priority? And she paused and said, honestly, no, I'm not. And here's what was fascinating is that she believed she had to deprioritize her relationship to focus on her job. She said, I have a massive workload. I'm trying to find a new job. I just don't have the bandwidth right now. And that sounds so logical to her. But it was just another story because she could just as easily think my relationship is a priority and so is my job. Same life, same hours in the day, totally different emotional experience. And that's when the light bulb went off, right? There was that moment. She realized she had been telling herself a story that sounded responsible, but it was actually disconnecting her from the life she wanted to create. And we all do this. We all tell ourselves stories like, I can't focus on my health right now. Work's too crazy. I can't deal with my relationship until things calm down. I'll start putting myself first after this project is done. But in reality, these stories will never end. They just keep recycling. And then we keep wondering why we feel so disconnected, so stuck, so unfulfilled, like we're treading water and we're not making any progress. So, what does this mean for you? It means your life, your results, your relationships, your job are built on the sentences you tell yourself every day. And the most powerful question you can ask is, what if I'm not just describing my life? What if I'm creating it with my thoughts? If you believe my partner doesn't support me, your brain will find evidence of that everywhere. If you believe my boss is oppressive, you'll show up tense, defensive, and ready for conflict, even when your boss just says good morning. If you believe it's hard to make friends, you'll talk yourself out of saying hello at the gym or joining the group or starting a conversation or doing anything that would move you towards actually making friends. And yet, if you shift even slightly to my partner loves me and wants to connect, or my boss is doing their best, or it's possible making new friends can be easy and fun, your energy will shift. You will show up completely differently. And the world doesn't have to change, but you will have. And this is why mindset work is the foundation of everything. Because until you learn to separate the facts from the story and all the drama that your brain is offering you, you'll spend your life trying to rearrange the circumstances that were never the real problem. People are looking for the new job, the new relationship, the new car, the new house, the new face, the new weight. Everything they think that exists externally that needs to change in order for them to feel better. Now, here's another key part of my client's story. She said, I need to get a new job because my boss is oppressive. And that felt so true to her. She even said, I have witnesses. But the reality is that thought was keeping her stuck in scarcity and stress. She was hustling for a new job from a place of fear and frustration. And that energy doesn't create the result that you want. Even if you get the new job, you are going to take your brain with you. You're going to take those old thoughts with you. And you'll just find a new oppressive boss to replace the last one once the novelty is worn off from the new job and the new circumstance. Right? Our brain gets excited and it loves the new thing. It's shiny and we think it's going to be better until we get used to it and it just becomes like the old job. And that's why we say you can change your job, your partner, your city, but if you don't change your thoughts, your results will follow you. And my client learned this, and then she realized she could choose a new thought right now. She thought, I'm an excellent boss. I love leading people. My job is my training ground for the next version of me. And from that energy, she could go on after new opportunities without burning down the rest of her life to do it. There was no hurry. There was no hustle. Her energy completely shifted. So here's what I want you to ask yourself today. Where in your life are you just telling the truth when really you're creating a painful version of your story? And this might be happening in a few areas of your life, but is it your relationship, your job, your family, your self-image? You don't have to wait for anybody to change, not your partner, not your boss, not your circumstance. You can change how you feel today by changing how you think. And that doesn't mean you don't eventually make the changes that you want to make, but you do it from a completely different place, from a completely different energy, because you want to, because you're looking for the next challenge, because you're looking for your growth, because you want to, not because you think it's going to be better there, not because you think it's going to fix you, not because you're in a hurry to get away from where you are now. And that's what coaching does. It helps you to see the thoughts that are shaping your reality and gives you the tools to choose something different, because this is the work that we have to do every single day. So if you are ready to stop living at the mercy of your circumstances, then I want to invite you to book a free coaching call with me. And here's what happens on that call. You bring one issue. Maybe it's your relationship, your job, or just the sense that you're meant for more, but you just can't seem to get there. You're not taking the action that you want to take. And I'll show you exactly how your brain is creating the result you have now and how to start changing it immediately. There's no pressure. It's just an hour devoted completely to you to step out of your life and to work on it with the support of somebody who can help. And we work on your goals, your emotions, and your growth, because this is the work that changes everything. And when you see your own mind with clarity, you stop trying to control everyone and everything else and start building the life you actually want. So the link to my calendar is in the show notes. You can book your free coaching session now. Don't wait for your boss or your boyfriend or your circumstances to change. The change starts here with you right now. All right, my friends, that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, your circumstances don't create your life. Your thoughts do. And when you learn to master your mind, there's nothing you can't change. So let's go. I'll see you next week.